DeepSeek v3.1, the open source earthquake. DeepSeek v3.1 has just dropped, and it didn't just raise the bar, it completely shattered it. We're talking 685 billion parameters, a 128,000 token context window, and performance that actually beats Claude Opus 4, while running at a cost that's 68 times cheaper. The shock factor. No hype campaign, no flashy marketing, just raw, undeniable numbers. Overnight, developers realized this wasn't just another release. It was a direct challenge to GPT-5 itself. And what set it all off? A 71.6% score on the Adder programming benchmark. That was huge. Why? Because Claude Opus 4 had been holding the crown, until now. For the first time, an open source model edged ahead. The cost bombshell. But it wasn't just benchmarks that stunned people. It was the economics. Developers quickly noticed tasks that cost $70 on closed systems could now be done for just $1 on v3.1. For startups and enterprises running thousands of tasks daily, that's not a small saving. That's a budget revolution. Power plus scale. With 685 billion parameters, v3.1 isn't just powerful, it's a beast. Add in the 128,000 token context window, and it can handle massive documents without breaking a sweat. To put that in perspective, that's about 1/6 of A Dream of Red Mansions, one of China's longest classic novels. Developers started stress testing it with giant inputs, and even though it maxed at about 1/10 of that scale, the results came back fast, sharp, and accurate. Speed like never before. Previous reasoning-heavy models, they'd grind to a crawl on complex queries. But v3.1? It ripped through them with near-instant responses. That told researchers something was different. This wasn't just a bigger model, it was an optimized model. The hybrid breakthrough. And then the architecture revealed the real magic. DeepSeek built a hybrid system, something past attempts had failed at. Before, when models tried to do reasoning, chatting, and coding, they ended up mediocre at everything. But with version 3.1, for the first time, those roles actually work together. No more separate R1 for reasoning. Everything is consolidated into one flagship model. Hidden secrets. And researchers digging into the weights found hidden tokens. Search begin and search end for real-time search. Think and end think for private reasoning. That means v3.1 can actually pause to think before answering, and if connected, even fetch live info from the web. Basically, native reasoning plus native search in one package. Benchmark battles, and the numbers backed it up everywhere. On svgebench, which tests visual and structural reasoning, it ranked just behind GPT 4.1 Mini, leaps ahead of its predecessor R1. On mmlu, the go-to benchmark for broad knowledge, it went head-to-head with GPT-5. Sure, GPT-5 still had the edge on advanced engineering and grad-level Q&A, but the fact that an open model came that close? Huge milestone. And unlike older models, it even nailed tricky logical comparisons, like telling the difference between 9.11 and 9.9. Less prone to silly mistakes, more reliable under pressure. Cost efficiency headlines. But what kept making waves was cost. AI researcher Andrew Christensen laid it out. 71.6% on Adder, 1% above Claude Opus 4, 68 times cheaper. That's not abstract theory, that's money saved, straight to the bottom line. The perfect timing. And here's the wild part, the timing. OpenAI had just dropped GPT-5. Anthropic had just launched Claude 4, both hyped as cutting-edge frontier systems, but locked behind expensive APIs. DeepSeek? They just quietly uploaded v3.1 for free. No press release, no announcement. Just boom, available worldwide. The message was loud and clear. While the US companies protect their frontier models like gold, DeepSeek is releasing theirs as public infrastructure, a global strategy. This fits perfectly with China's broader AI strategy. Back in 2020, their 14th five-year plan actually prioritized open-source AI. The idea? Push adoption worldwide, even if it means losing short-term profits. And it's working. Hugging Face's trending list has been dominated by Chinese models lately. V3.1 shot into the top 5 within hours. Even Hugging Face's own head of product tweeted, "Open source AI is at its peak." Disrupting the industry. This isn't DeepSeek's first disruption either. Back in January, when V3 launched, we learned training only cost $5.6 million on about 2,000 NVIDIA chips. Compare that to the hundreds of millions people thought were required. That news alone wiped $600 billion off NVIDIA's market cap in a single day. Now, with version 3.1, the game is even more brutal. Closed systems depend on massive investment and high API fees to recover costs. DeepSeek flipped that script, give the frontier model away, force others to explain why their high prices are justified. It's the same story we saw with Linux versus proprietary software. Once the free version is good enough, the paid option struggles to compete. The big question. Of course, at nearly 700 gigabytes, the full model isn't something you just run on your laptop. But cloud providers are already gearing up hosted versions, removing that barrier fast. So enterprises are asking themselves, why pay premium rates when a frontier-level open model is free and waiting? No wonder DeepSeek's community has already blown past 80,000 members. The bigger picture. And here's the real takeaway. Smaller teams, even individual researchers, now have access to tools that rival the best in the world. The myth that only the biggest US labs can build frontier systems? It's breaking apart. And the irony of the term artificial intelligence? For years, what was artificial wasn't the intelligence, it was the scarcity. Access was locked away. Now DeepSeek just proved those walls weren't necessary. Closing. So is it disruptive? Absolutely. 685 billion parameters, 128,000 tokens, benchmarks beating Claude, costs that crush GPT and Claude's pricing, and all dropped online without warning. DeepSeek just reset expectations for open-source AI. And if this is just the road to V4, then the real shockwaves haven't even hit yet. That's it for today's breakdown. What do you think? Does this change the AI race forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe for more AI deep dives, and I'll catch you in the next one.